Good afternoon, Maura, and happy to have you with us. You are the third of four affinity group chair people that we have had on so far, and we're looking forward to what you've got to share with us. Mark is attended Notre Dame and majored in accounting. She was a member of the band of the Fighting Irish, the concert band, and a hockey band. I don't know how she found time to go to school. Maura graduated from Notre Dame in 2017. Maura is joining us today as the mighty Mid-Atlantic Regional Director for Notre Dame Women's Connect. For the last 5 years, Maura has been with the Deloitte, am I saying that right? Deloitte in Washington, D.C., where she provides corporate finance and financial restructuring assistance to meet the needs of financial regulatory institutions and clients. ND Women's Connect promotes programs and activities throughout the NDAA to keep women connected through networking, monitoring, and service to disadvantaged women and children. So now I turn you over to Pat and Maura.
Thank you, Mike. And Maura, it is 2022. We are celebrating 50 years of women at Notre Dame, and that must mean something to those of you who are active in an official NDAA group, ND Women Connect. I was looking at the website for ND Women Connect, and it highlights the fact that there is a stone memorial at the Grotto that says the following quote: "We are and forever will be grateful daughters of Notre Dame." My first question for you is how that resonates with you and how you came to be active in Notre Dame Women Connect.
Sure. And first of all, thank you to your club for having me. I'm excited to talk to you today and be one of the three from the mighty Mid-Atlantic to have the privilege to share what our affinity group is doing in collaboration with some of the other affinity groups as well. I'll speak to the first part or the second part of your question first, Pat, which is how I got involved in Notre Dame Women Connect. So since I graduated in 2017, I've been active in all of my local clubs. Right after graduation, I moved to Washington, D.C., and so was active there and coordinated one of their annual club events, which was the CEO series. And then also I'm from Pittsburgh originally and just relocated back here this summer. And I'm currently on the board of the Notre Dame Club of Pittsburgh, and I'm their social media coordinator, which was a great way for me to stay connected with that club, even when I was away in DC, which was a really great opportunity. So I've always been engaged and excited about helping the local clubs. My first introduction to Notre Dame Women Connect specifically was that they publish a quarterly newsletter, and they were looking for contributors for their quarterly newsletter. So I, along with my close classmate from 2017, Jessie Werzer, we thought it would be a good opportunity to get plugged into the Notre Dame Women Connect network. And so we had reached out at that point in time, and they brought us on as a quarterly contributor. So we actually had the opportunity, so almost similar to this conversation we're having now, to speak with different individuals who were on campus in a variety of different roles, from Notre Dame professors to people who are working more behind the scenes, like the cleaning staff of dorms and other folks like that. So we had a quarterly column that we wrote. And so that was my first introduction to Notre Dame Women Connect, and really enjoyed getting to know that community of people. And so when they had an opening in the Mid-Atlantic region for a regional director, they had asked me to consider applying. So I applied along with probably a few others, and ultimately was voted onto the board, which was super exciting. So I've been on the board now for, I think, 2 years. And it's been a really wonderful experience. So that's the answer to the second part of your question. And then going back to the first part, could you repeat that quote again about how it
Yes.
resonates with me?
So the quote at the Grotto is, "We are and forever will be grateful daughters of Notre Dame." And I'm guessing from the enthusiasm you and the involvement you just described that you are a grateful daughter of Notre Dame, and your gratitude is being carried forward.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's a great quote because, I mean, the Notre Dame family is the Notre Dame family, and all of the women that I've met in the Notre Dame family have been amazing to me. Everyone's very incredible, very inspiring in their own way. What comes to mind actually is an event Notre Dame Women Connect just hosted yesterday online, which was a part of our Inspired Conversation series. And the conversation spotlighted a panel of first in honor of the 50 years of coeducation. And so it featured the first female student body president, the first female member of the Irish Guard, and an assistant rector of Walsh Hall when it first became a women's dorm. So that's just like one specific example on how, you know, how excited I am to be a part of the alumni network and the work that we're doing, and how everyone is supportive of each other. And we will continue to be advocates and leaders in the Notre Dame family.
And as I look through the materials on Notre Dame Women Connect, there are sort of 3 guideposts, but then of course it gets into a lot of detailed initiatives, some of which you've already described. But the 3 guideposts are connect, nurture, give back. So in the form of connect, that's personal and professional connections, networking, socializing, making friends. Nurture is growing as a person, as growing spiritually, growing personally and professionally. And then give back, of course, is making contributions not only to Notre Dame, but to the community you're from, and to causes that inspire you. And so, as I understand it, those 3 guideposts of connect, nurture, give back they're carried out by Notre Dame Women Connect on both the national level and then sort of through grassroots efforts at the club level. So taking the national level first, can you go through some of the sort of big events in the calendar year for Notre Dame Women Connect?
Sure, I will highlight a few. And just a plug quickly for all of our social media accounts. That's a great way to stay up to date with any events nationally that we have coming up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Those are all good places to start, plus our website, as Pat, you have already mentioned. So one of the biggest things that we do is the shared read. We have a book read twice a year in the fall and in the spring. And there's a Facebook group that you can participate in discussion if you just wanted to do it virtually or on your own, or maybe you're not accessible to a local club. Additionally, a lot of local clubs will actually hold an in-person event to discuss the book. I know in Pittsburgh, we were able to do that a few weeks ago, which was really great and just a good way to meet with a group of people. Of course, it's branded as Notre Dame Women Connect, but anyone from your club, from any background, not just women exclusively, are able to participate. The book read this year for the fall was the Dictionary of Lost Words. So definitely take a look and recommend that you pick it up if you haven't done so already. And stay tuned for whatever our spring read ends up being. I already mentioned the quarterly newsletter. That's a way we stay nationally engaged, and you can read about things that we are doing as a board, but also things that people are doing locally. Some of the on-campus events that we do annually are Cheering Her Name, which is an annual celebration of all of the graduating women. That's something that I personally chair on our Notre Dame Women Connect board, along with my colleague Trudy Cassidy, who is based in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's a wonderful way to celebrate all the graduates in person. We also, like I said and touched on already, we have an Inspired Conversations series in which we interview and talk to different people in the Notre Dame family. Some past participants of that, in addition to the people I named about the 50 years of coeducation, were Coach Ivy for the Notre Dame women's basketball team. Same with Packy Kelly, who is Brian Kelly's wife. She spoke to us too about a year ago. So we have a lot of things going on nationally, and I would be happy to talk to anyone if they're interested in getting involved in any way. And then moving to the local level, if that's where you were headed to next, Pat, you know, there's a lot of different Notre Dame Women Connect groups locally, specifically in the Mid-Atlantic region. There's a few different clubs that really have a strong Notre Dame Women Connect presence. I know the Washington, D.C. club, for example, is one of those, and they've been honored by the Notre Dame Alumni Association a few times for all of their efforts. But essentially, you know, every local Notre Dame Women Connect group kind of takes on its own form based upon the people that are involved and the club members that you're serving and where everyone's interests lie. So it's very wide ranging. It's everything from getting together for happy hours, wine tastings, and social events. Like I said, starting book group discussions, in addition to our shared read. I know some clubs have an ongoing book club, creating mom and toddler play groups, gathering for Lenten retreats, advising current female Notre Dame students, or developing some type of alumna to alumna mentoring program, and then also just professional networking and community service opportunities.
You know, and as I look through there is right on the Notre Dame Women Connect website, there is, you can go state by state and see local contacts. So for each club that has a contact person, presumably a board member in that club, who is the go-to person for organizing Notre Dame Women Connect, there are 8 clubs in the mighty Mid-Atlantic that have someone listed. Gettysburg is currently not one of them. So my question for you is, you are the regional director, you are the facilitator between the national scene and what people are doing in the clubs. What advice would you give to a club who really wants to ramp up their efforts for Notre Dame Women Connect? And I'll add to that a bit of a challenge. The Gettysburg Club is, as you might guess, smaller than the Washington, D.C. club. And we have mostly it's friends of the university, very active people in the Notre Dame club who love Notre Dame, but we're not talking about people who are connecting with other alumna. It's a lot of other service projects and so forth. Do you see that as a challenge in terms of developing mentoring programs or service programs under the rubric of ND Women Connect?
Yeah, so I think it's a really good question that we all ask ourselves often, because every local club has different needs and they're dealing with different constituents. And so at the end of the day, you obviously want to tailor whatever you're spending your time, treasure, talent in to meet the needs of your local club. So we do have a Notre Dame Women Connect starter kit, which is a few page document that's a really great place to start for someone who is interested in becoming the local Notre Dame Women Connect leader. And also another good place to start is calling or contacting another Notre Dame Women Connect leader that does currently exist to hear about like what has worked well, what they recommend, just best practices and lessons learned. What I encourage for clubs that do not have someone in that current role, but are looking to fill that role, is really just start small. You know, it doesn't need to be this overwhelming undertaking where you need to spend a ton of time. If you just pick a really small goal to start, like one event a year, you know, that's a great place to start. And again, I think the best way to decide on how to get that started and pick that one event is just from talking to people in the club. What is everyone interested in doing? Is there a way to partner with a different piece of your club where there's an interest? So like, for example, like there's nothing stopping Notre Dame Women Connect from partnering with like your diversity affinity local leader or your senior alumni local leader. Is there any partnership that exists in which just bringing the Notre Dame Women Connect lens to would even add more value there? Separately, right, like I had mentioned, you know, some of our national events, they're really out of the box. The shared book read, we develop an entire book discussion guide. And so that's just really a matter of picking a date and time and then getting a couple of people together. So there's a lot of like easy starter options that make stepping into a role, which may seem daunting, like very manageable and doable. So I highly encourage for all the clubs who are going to listen to this video that your club is putting out to really like take a look, reach out, happy to provide you with the starter kit, happy to have a conversation with anyone who is interested, and really just put something on the calendar and get it started.
I think that's wonderful advice. The starting small, connecting with others who have been down this road before, and even combining forces with other smaller or efforts within the club. And down the road, I would think that this is not only a chance for recruiting new members to the club, it's also a way to perhaps be a mentor to women coming out of the local Catholic high schools or other high schools, maybe cause them to consider Notre Dame if they weren't already, but just show that we care about our community. And this would be a wonderful opportunity in that way.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Very well said.
So are there any national efforts underway at Notre Dame that you want to highlight to celebrate 50 years of coeducation at Notre Dame?
Currently, there's really nothing top of mind, right? 2020 is the 50 years of coeducation. I think all of the big events have happened for the most part as we wrap up the calendar year. I do know the only other, or I shouldn't say only, from my knowledge, the only other thing that's still kind of in process is that the university announced that they were going to reimagine Main Circle to honor women. And I'm not sure if like if they've released any other details about that or like what the expected timeline is on that, but that's something to look out for. I would say the only other thing is, if your local club has not done anything yet to celebrate 50 years of coeducation, that's something to consider. We still have a month and a half left in 2022. It doesn't need to be like anything big, like we've already talked about. Just a small gesture. I know, I'm not sure what local club it was, but they just had, they had written notes to some of the alumni in the community just to reach out and like be that point of contact for them, especially for some of the first women who graduated from the university. So there's been a lot of celebration this year, which has been really fantastic, and would definitely point anyone back to some of those resources for like the online conversations that have happened, that have been recorded, or some of the other events clubs have done, because everyone has done such a great job to really commemorate that milestone.
Maura, you have a thorough understanding of ND Women Connect and really practical ideas for small but really meaningful steps that Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Club of Gettysburg could be taken, and other clubs could be taking. So I want to thank you very much for setting aside some time to speak with us, and I will turn you back over to Mike Miller for any final thoughts or questions that he has.
Well, Maura, again, I want to follow up with what Pat just said. I want to thank you a lot for sharing with us today your thoughts. Don't be surprised if we are calling you, if you don't mind, frequently, because this really is, for us, it's going to be a starter, because we do not have this affinity group working within our club right now. And so, that you will be you along with Michael and whoever else he suggests will be our starter kit for us.
Of course, happy to serve in that capacity and provide any assistance I can.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again, Maura. Okay, go Irish.
Thanks,
Maura,
everyone.
stay on for a little bit if you don't mind then.